Now, Dom, when I think of pate, I think of France. But you're here to show us that the Italians love their pate too.
Of course.
Capers and anchovies with the liver is very interesting.
Exactly, all right. Let's start with the onion.
Yes.
Okay. We cut the onion roughly. Don't worry about the sides because we're going to blitz everything, so we don't want to worry about that.
Okay.
Okay, we go with the onion.
And lots
We
of
go
butter.
with the butter. Yeah. And we start to sweat all of this slowly, slowly.
Now, Dom, livers. We're using some chicken livers. I think a lot of people will be watching this going, livers! But, you know, once you cook them, they are the most delicious thing and they are the integral part of a pate. How do we look for a very fresh liver? Because that's what we want for a recipe like this.
Definitely want a fresh chicken liver.
Yeah.
Then there is a little vein to clean at the beginning of the liver.
Yes.
Your butcher can do for you,
Yes.
or you can easily do at home.
Okay.
At this stage, we're ready. Now our onion is nice and brown, really.
Yes.
We want to have a nice and high heat at this stage, okay?
Right, okay.
So all you do now with a nice high flame, you put a little bit of salt, okay? So you can start to give a little bit of seasoning. Now is a very important stage. We do the caramelization. Now you can put for me a couple of leaves of sage for me, so it starts to get flavor. And whenever you're ready, you can put the capers and the anchovy.
Okay, sage. Again, I would never put sage in a French pate, but the Italians, sage, why not? And they work really nicely with the livers.
They go very, very well. With the onion and the livers, the sage, it goes very well. Now you can go with the capers for me, and then with the anchovy. And the characteristic, Justin, about this chicken liver is that we're gonna cook this pate like a risotto, okay?
Right.
Slowly, we take our time, at least half an hour. You're gonna put the wine for me in 30 seconds, if you don't mind.
And what type of wine do you use for this?
In this case, we use a nice sweet wine, okay? The traditional wine, if you can find, is the one from Toscana, which is called Vin Santo.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That wine will be the best for it, okay? And now you can pour the wine for me. Thank you.
There we go. It's just a little bit, isn't it?
Just a little bit. You don't need too much. And you let evaporate with a generous high flame.
Okay.
Now, just like a risotto, we put a little bit of stock.
Yep.
Okay? We let it cook for 25 minutes at least. While this one goes along, we do the biscotti. So, if you can, for me, put the butter first.
So this is a Parmesan biscotti instead of baguette. We're using a Parmesan biscotti. Fantastic.
Exactly all right. We make sure the butter is nice and soft. We go in with the polenta flour.
Okay.
Thank you, Justin. Then we go in with the flour.
Okay, this is just plain flour?
Just plain flour, which we mix well together.
Okay. And did you want me to grate the Parmesan?
Please, Justin, that would be great.
So
Thank you.
100 grams of Parmesan, and you like this freshly grated?
I always like the Parmesan grated fresh.
What I love about this is everything can be made ahead of time.
You're right. And then when you have your guests or you want to have for yourself, you just need to assemble together.
Fantastic.
You see, this is a very, very easy dough. Now we're going to put the sugar, the egg, the Parmesan, and we're ready to go.
I love it. There we go. In with the
Thank
sugar.
you.
And just one egg, one whole egg?
One egg. While you do the egg, I go to visit our chicken liver. We're going to put a little bit of stock in our chicken liver, and we go straight back to our dough.
Okay.
Okay, you can pour in now the Parmesan in for me.
With a whole
Thank
lot?
You. Everything.
Lots of Parmesan.
Lots of Parmigiano. Vai. Thank you, Justin. Okay. This one now is nearly there. Okay, now I'm ready for roll our dough.
So
Thank you.
some Glad wrap?
Some Glad wrap on top of the bench.
Okay. You hold there?
Yeah.
Ooh, a long
That's
piece.
it. That's it. Enough. A little bit of dough. Go in here.
So the dough is obviously a little too soft at the moment, so we need to firm that up. That's why we're going to be making a cylinder and then popping it in the fridge to chill before we cut our biscuits.
You're exactly all right.
Very nice.
As you can see, Justin, now all the liquids, they evaporated. What I need now, you to blend it, and I need you to blend while it's still warm. Thank you.
Why do we do the blending while it's still warm?
Because while it's still warm, it's gonna be nice and smooth. You won't have any lumps. Once you blend it, put in a bowl and set in the fridge for a bit.
Too easy.
Okay. While you're doing that, Justin, I'm gonna start to cut our biscotti.
Okay. I like that you've formed it into a very long cylinder, so we get cute little cookies or biscuits. So it is definitely like a canapé or something to start.
Now, all we cut, we take off the edge, because we want to do nice and smooth, and we cut this one.
Now we've preheated the oven to 180. And how long are the biscuits going to cook for?
Between 8 and 10 minutes.
And once this is blended, we're going to pop it into this gorgeous little earthenware dish and we chill it until it's completely set.
That's exactly all right.
Very nice. Dom, the Parmesan biscuits look fantastic. They've cooled down and the Tuscan pate is ready, nice and chilled.
Yep, ready to go. Can you please get 5 biscuits for me?
Okay, 5 little bickies. And the rest of these we can just pop into an airtight container. They'll last for a good couple of days, if they last that long.
The problem is that they're too yummy to last for so long. Now, we go in here, some hot water and 2 equal spoons, so we can do our quenelle to put in our biscuit. Simply like that.
And you can see how smooth it is, and that's because we did blend it for a good, 5 minutes until it's not grainy anymore, it's smooth. You don't want grainy, that's the worst outcome.
At all, and I have to say you did a great job on it. So what we do, we put back this one. Before we put the last quenelle, we make the spoon hot. So as you can see, it will be easier to pop on it at the end. Look how pretty.
Lovely.
So we did the first. So we do the quenelle. Can you, Justin, take the raspberry for me? Simply with your hand, break up the raspberry without smash them, okay, very delicate. Split them in half and put on top of your quenelle. Okay?
Just gently put that there.
While you put the raspberry, cut a little bit of this beautiful micro parsley that will give a little extra freshness to our pate.
I love doing Italian food in a modern way. We always associate Italian food with, peasant-style food, that delicious food we love so much, the pastas, the ragus, and this modern twist is quite nice. And this is what we see at your restaurant too, don't we?
That's what you eat in my restaurant. That's what we do. We start always from a very traditional recipe, and then we adjust with the flavor of this beautiful country, the stuff we can use over here. Now we're nearly ready, just into the best part.
What would that be, Dom? Would that be tasty?
Well, it's what you are talking from the beginning, from since I met you. You can't wait to taste it.
I really can't, because I do love pate, and I love seeing it made a different way.
Yeah, and then, at the end of the day, makes me smile when I see something like this.
Dom,
looks
you're
beautiful.
So lovely. Grazie, Dom.
Prego, buon appetito.
Buonissimo.
Bravo.
It really is. I would never think to put raspberry with a pate like this.
It works, isn't it?
It makes it so special. And these biscuits, they're coming home with me.
Yours.
I love them. I love it all. The pate is so smooth. It's delicious. Fantastic. Can't wait to do this canapé for my friends.